What's up guys, Chris here again with another Eden Zero manga chapter review, and man, I was not ready for this chapter's ending. I got emotional reading this chapter, I have to admit. Mashima, you did it again. You made me feel feelings again, and I predicted what would happen in this chapter, but not to this extent. Some things happened that I was not fully expecting, and yeah, this chapter just emotionally broke me. I'll get into that in a second. Before we get into this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. And also check out my Ko-fi and Patreon accounts to help get these videos out sooner and support the channel more directly. We're currently very close to 900 subscribers. At the point of me recording this video, we are around 880. And hopefully, if things go well, we can reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of November or beginning of December. So I need all your help, all your guys' help to support the channel and help recommending these videos and sharing them with other people to help spread the audience and help these videos grow a lot faster. And if you're a fan of these Eden Zero videos, let me know in the comments down below, and I will keep doing them as I have been doing for the past few months, because I am really enjoying Eden Zero. And things have just been really great thus far. So let's get right into this. So the previous chapter, we essentially got the Eden Zero escaping Narrow 66 as essentially Ziggy activated all the antimatter bombs, and Shiki ended up having to come to the choice of leaving the planet to get his friends to safety. And they got the Empire Army, the Rebellion Army, and the Interstellar Union Army to retreat from the area, as all 20 of those bombs could take out not just the planet, but a ton of surrounding planets. And as the Eden Zero is getting ready to leave, there's no time to celebrate. Witch is back to normal and fully repaired. We get death flags for her last chapter, like 3 in one single goddamn chapter. And then Ziggy pops up on the monitor holding the Eden Zero in place, potentially with his gravity powers, or maybe like a virus in the ship, keeping it from moving, saying that Shiki made the wrong choice, and now they're sitting ducks for when the bombs go off. And the last chapter ended with Witch stating that she won't let any harm come to the crew or the Eden Zero for as long as she is the Shield of Edens, with that ending the chapter. So you can kind of predict how this chapter was going to go. But anyway, let's get on to chapter 166. I Love You. Okay, I gotta admit, that's a pretty strong title. Alright, so we start this off with the Eden Zero in the upper atmosphere outside of Narrow 66, with there only being 1 minute left till detonation. Everyone's freaking out trying to figure out how they can get out of there. All the doors are locked, and the systems have been shut down. They're wondering how big the explosion is, but it could destroy neighboring planets as well, and that they won't even last half a second. Which then teleports, stating that she will protect the ship on her honor as the Shield of Edens. She then disappears, and we cut back to Narrow 66 with Shura laying against the table. As it's then the Princess Izuna. I don't know why her name eluded me for so freaking long, but yeah, she goes to Shura. She disappeared a few chapters ago after Laguna turned her into water. But yeah, anyway, she appears in front of Shura like everyone's more or less predicted, and Shura asks her why she didn't escape with Callum and the others, since the planet is about to be space dust in a few minutes. And he comes to the conclusion, with that pretty stern-looking face and death stare, that she's come to kill him herself. And that he kind of figured out ages ago that the reason that she was attached to Shura so long was essentially her ether gear. Izuna says that she isn't sure when she obtained her power, but she probably gained it to defend herself. But it never worked on Shura, because her powers don't work on targets who never know love. And stating that her love for him was one-sided. Shura tries to deny it, but she states that she knows, and brings him in for a hug, stating that the spark of love was kindled inside of him, and it's kindled for her too. It was a false love that ended up becoming real. Shura continues to deny this, beginning to break down in tears, stating that he's a monster. And he literally says that she also has some screws loose, just like he does, and that she's crazy too. And they begin to comfort each other, crying as she states that he killed her family and friends and put her through a freaking nightmare, and that she is garbage enough to truly love him. They continue to embrace as Shura breaks down in tears, and that she states that there is someone who loves him and someone he loves in return. Those tears aren't the tears of a monster. They come from a human heart, as they're being evaporated by the very essence of the antimatter bomb explosions. Now, before I get more into the rest of this chapter, I have to say that there are a ton of toxic relationships done in not just anime, but in media in general. Movies, TV shows, comics, manga, anime, etc. All forms of media, there is some form of toxic relationships. And whenever these things come up, they're over-dramatized and aren't fully handled the best. Some of them are, but it feels like it was forced a bit. But Mashima set up the super toxic relationship, Stockholm Syndrome, for Izuna. But we then get the reveal that Shura really does want someone to love him. And even though Izuna's love was one-sided because of her ability, after the thread was broken, she still has those feelings despite all that happening. She was broken after all these years, and it makes sense why she would end up getting feelings for Shura, and Shura would slowly kind of get feelings for her. And in this moment, with her consoling him, being broken from her own shackles and still going to him, stating that she loves him, is enough to bring Shura to tears. He needed actual love and compassion in his life, but he never got it. And this one thing is bringing out his own humanity. Now, Shura is a monster. I do agree, he is a freaking monster. He's done a lot of stuff, and he's basically about to commit mass genocide. But I have to say, this was also a very touching moment to an extent, because it shows just how a toxic relationship can be, and how even if, let's say, someone is taken away from their abuser, they might never really truly recover. And Izuna probably feels like she cannot return to her friends after stuff that she's done, and still having feelings for their enemy. So she wants to basically help Shura in his last moments realize his own humanity and give him the love and compassion that he truly needed in his life. If he had this type of love and compassion, he wouldn't have turned out the way he did. And I like that. And just like that, the two of them get evaporated in that explosion. Now, I wanted Shura to be like a reoccurring villain, to come back in some way, maybe fight Shiki one more time, or maybe he'll come back as a reluctant ally for the crew. And their final fight against Ziggy. I mean, think about it, two powerful gravity ether gear users against Ziggy, who now has 2 ether gears? I think that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty solid matchup, but no. They die in this explosion. And I like the 3 panels showing the very explosion of the planet, when they're being broken apart from the explosion, breaking up from inside and turning into a big event horizon, expanding out, engulfing the Eden Zero. But as it reaches the ship, Witch is at the top of the ship in space, stating that in the name of the Demon King's 4 shining stars, I, the shield of Eden's, vow to protect the ship, as she then creates one giant force field to protect the whole ship. Everyone's stating that she can't do this. And wondering why she's doing it, asking if she's got a death wish, as the ship is being protected from this blast thanks to Witch. Witch is using her protect matrix to its maximum scale to protect everyone in the ship, and it's brought up that the physical toll is going to be too much for her. As we see the Eden Zero being protected by this blast, as we are also seeing as it is expanding away from the ship, that all the neighboring planets and asteroids are being completely destroyed. Everyone's calling out to Witch. But then Witch flashes back to the past, when all 4 shining stars were together with Ziggy, heading back from their trip with Mother. Their trip to go find Mother, after they found Shiki. As I'm not sure who states it, possibly Ziggy, stating that Witch looks dignified with the baby in her arms as if she's his mother. And I like how Valkyrie in this states that a machine for a mother sounds a little strange, as we know that later down the road she literally becomes Homura's mother, and Homura considers her mother. And Hermit states that if that's the case, then that makes her Shiki's big sister. And I love Sister's reaction to this, saying that, "What am I, the mistress?" That is such a Sister thing to say. And I like how Valkyrie's like, "What are you even talking about?" And I like this little joke that Hermit's trying to like make a joke with Ziggy as he agrees to, like, maybe since Witch is the mother, maybe they should modify her to reduce breast milk. This is kind of the stupidest thing I have heard in a long time, and I still laughed at this. And it shows that they had a really good group dynamic back in the day, all four of them together, and Ziggy really truly acted more like Shiki in a very goofy manner, open to almost anything. And I like how he states to Hermit that her idea is brilliant, while Sister and Valkyrie are like, no. And Shiki then starts to laugh, as everyone surrounds Shiki, stating that he's got infinite potential. Valkyrie wants to try and teach him the sword, and Witch looking down on him with a happy face, stating that no matter what, she will always protect him. We then cut back to the present, as it seems like the shield is starting to deteriorate. Everyone's trying to get Witch to stop, and that she can't take it anymore, starting to cry in panic at what's going to happen. Witch states that she promised on that day that she would protect them, and that she's sorry. As we see cracks forming around her, and she says that she doesn't think that she can keep that promise anymore. Shiki yells out to her, saying that she's not allowed to die, and that's an order that she has to live. And I like how Shiki, this is the first time Shiki's literally stating things like a captain's orders, acting like the captain, like her superior, just to get her to not die. And I believe this is one of the first times Shiki's really acted like a captain, giving direct orders to someone. Everyone's his friend, his family, and his crew, so he never really acts like this. But he's doing this to see if Witch will listen, so that she won't die. But Witch just states this will be the first and last time she will ever disobey a direct order. Shiki is crying, stating that she can't do this. But Witch, with a smile on her face, says to everyone that the path they follow will truly give them many more hardships. But if they all work together, there is no trial they cannot face. And I like everyone's reaction. Sister's is starting to tear up. Hermit's beginning to cry. Everyone's in shock and starting to cry about all this. And she says that everyone is on the ship is truly family. And that they love each other, forgive each other, and help each other. And that she's proud to have been the shield of this ship. And that she's happy to have met them all. Even if the shield shatters and falls to pieces, her heart full of love will never really be broken. As she thanks them all and states that she loves them. With tears in her eyes and a pure smile, we then see her body disintegrate from the explosion, and we see Shiki's reaction to this, and where she was standing is empty, ending the chapter. So yeah, Eden Zero chapter 166. I'm not gonna lie, reading this the first time really teared me up. Mashima, you did a good job. You presented a crap ton of death flags. You made us think that Witch was dying on the ground before, when Shura kidnapped her, brought her back to full health, only to have her die the very next chapter, protecting her family. I swear, this is a common trope, and I believe in anime in general, a mother dying to protect her family. That is something that happens a lot, and for the most part is done very well. And I know there are probably gonna be people gonna be like that. This is like that Mashima's probably gonna be like, oh, JK, she's not really dead. They'll just bring her back. But no, Valkyrie is dead. Valkyrie died off in a flashback, but she's been dead for years. Now, Witch died, completely disintegrated. Her core is gone. There's no bringing her back, unless they do something with Mother at the end of the series to bring Witch and Valkyrie back. But even then, it probably won't be the exact same people. Their memories, their personalities, their experiences won't be exactly the same. So, it makes a lot of sense for that not to be the case. So, yeah, Witch is officially dead. She is gone. Nothing left of her, just space dust now. And I'm not sure how, and I want to see how the crew deals with it and tries to move on. Which was the very first shining star, the one that helped them on their journey when they found the Eden Zero. Helped them find Sister, Hermit, and eventually Valkyrie. And I want to see how this affects Hermit and Sister the most, because they were together the longest, and they were crying after finding out about Valkyrie's death. Hermit and Sister are the last shining stars right now, and they watched Witch die protecting them. Everyone in the ship grew to love and care and respect for Witch, and now she's gone. And I would say this was a really good character death. And I know for a fact that when this is eventually animated, and this will be most likely be part of like season 3 most likely, it's probably going to bring people to tears. It's going to be talked about as one of the best anime deaths ever. One of the most heart-wrenching deaths in a long time. And look, Mashima knows how to make emotional moments that hit you in the feels, gives you an emotional gut punch. And I know everyone's gonna be like, but in Fairy Tail he did a bunch of fake out deaths, and then when the characters were supposed to die, they ended up coming back, or they weren't really dead. And yes, I know that, but this series is different. This series really makes Eden Zero probably one of Mashima's best works. And I don't know how anyone can complain about this. This has been set up. We've gotten the red flags. She was legitimately the next one to die. If there was going to be a main character death, it had to be Witch. She was it can't be Homura, Wise, Shiki, or Rebecca. Especially Shiki, Rebecca, or Rebecca. So the logical thing would be Witch dying, since she was the first shining star and first true member of the crew that they got. How this is going to play out next, and how other characters could potentially die, is all up in the air. And now they're short one shining star. Homura took over Valkyrie's spot and got the Valkyrie dress, but now they don't have Witch, the shield of the ship. So how they're going to fill up, I don't know if they're going to fill up that slot, or just going to remain empty. I don't know. But yeah, this helps sows the seed that as the series progresses, we could potentially see more main character deaths. We had 3 characters die in this chapter. Not to mention whatever other like habitable planets were destroyed during that big-ass explosion. But yeah, that's Eden Zero 166. It was an emotional gut punch, and I can't believe that Witch is gone. And I don't know what's going to happen next, or how, or if any other characters will eventually or probably die later down the road, and what's going to happen next in the series. But anyways, as always, leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Like and subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for updates on future videos if you want me to keep doing these Eden Zero reviews and other Eden Zero content down the road, and help get us to 1,000 subscribers. We're so close to that milestone, I can taste it. But yeah, with all that said and done, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.